Lysanne and I'm here in MotherRucker Worthing, and today I'm going to be showing you all about how to position your newborn safely and how to perform those all-important safety checks. When we're thinking about how to position our newborn safely inside any sling or carrier, what we are seeking to recreate is their natural position. Now, I'm sure this position will be really familiar to a lot of you with your newborn babies, as this being the position that your baby is best settled in and they prefer to be in. We've got their head up nice and high on your chest, so their ear is resting on your breastbone, your sternum. They've got one hand up each side of their head. This helps them balance as well as brings them comfort and security. They've got a lovely curved spine, which stops their head from flopping around, meaning you can hold them in one arm and they won't go anywhere. And they've got their knees higher than their bum because they're all nice and scrunched up and curly. Essentially, this is the position they were in when they were inside. And now that they're out, they still want to be in this position. In fact, they basically just want to get back in. All of our slings and carriers, as long as they're ergonomic, will support and position your baby in this shape. It's the shape they want to be in. It's the shape they need to be in. So how does this look in a carrier? Well, I'm glad you've asked. When using a stretchy wrap, this is what we are looking for optimal newborn positioning. We've got their head nice and high, resting on my sternum, on my breastbone. We've got both hands up either side of my baby's head so that they can balance, and they've got their hands there for comfort, just like they had when they were inside. I've tucked the head in case baby wants to go to sleep, but some babies hate this, so you can flip the other shoulder as well. I've got a full tutorial on how to do a stretchy wrap, so do check that out if this is looking very different to what you're doing. We've got a lovely curved spine, and we've got the knees higher than the bum. Bare minimum, which I will get to towards the end of the video, bare minimum is breathing and not falling out. We'll get to that. But this is what we're aiming for. If I unpeel the layers, then you can see how my baby is positioned. Knees up, bum down, curved spine, arms up either side of the head, and head on here. This way you won't get a floppy head. It is physically impossible for your baby to have a floppy head when their knees are higher than their bum, their spine is curved. Let me show you why. Kneel up on the floor with your knees down and your hips nice and straight. Okay, so your legs are in line with your hips. The range of motion for your head goes down to your chin and it goes all the way back. And that's the scary newborn head flop. If instead you have your knees up and your bum down in our natural spread squat position, the range of motion for your head is now down to your chest and it doesn't go any further. It literally can't. So if your baby has a floppy head when they're in your carrier, it's worth checking their bum and doing that all-important pelvic tuck to really get that spine nice and curved and those knees higher than the bum. Now, some carriers do this better than others. Narrow-based, non-ergonomic carriers like this one don't put your baby in their natural position. That's why your baby feels heavy, they feel unsupported, and why it hurts your back. So even though my baby's head is roughly the right height for where I want it to be, my baby's arms have been separated by the carrier. I can tuck them in and have them inside the carrier next to my baby's head. I can do that, but that's not what's in the instructions for this model. It also has a very narrow base, which means that my baby's legs are dangling. Now, this won't hurt or damage my baby in any way. No carrier has ever been proven to cause damage, but with the knees lower than the head, that means my baby cannot support their own head. Their head will flop everywhere like we saw. That's why this carrier has to have a headboard. So if you've got a narrow-based carrier with a headboard, that's why your baby feels heavy. That's why they don't feel very supported. That's why they don't feel very stable. And that's why your back is hurting. It's not you, it's not your baby. It's purely the design of the carrier. In terms of safety, these are still safe. My baby is breathing and my baby isn't going to fall out. So it's still absolutely safe and totally fine to use. I just might not be as comfortable as I could be, and my baby might not be as comfortable as they could be. Safety checks. When it comes to our safety checks, there is one rule which the vast majority of people have heard of and that they follow, and that is TICS. This stands for tight, in view at all times, close enough to kiss, keep chin off chest, and supported. Ticks. Now, whilst ticks is great, what it's not great at is emphasizing that breathing should be first, because that's the K. So it doesn't matter if your sling is tight enough if your baby can't breathe. It doesn't matter if your baby is in view at all times if your baby can't breathe. It doesn't matter if your baby is close enough to kiss if they can't breathe. K, keep chin off chest. That's the fourth point. Breathing should always be the first thing we check. The other reason that I'm not a big fan of ticks is because it doesn't work for back carrying. On my back, my baby is not in view at all times. On my back, my baby is not close enough to kiss. So it doesn't work for all carrying. It is a great standard and it is a great place for everyone to be working off because it has saved multiple lives. However, I personally prefer the circle of safety. This was developed by another Slinger Baby consultant called MotherRucker as part of her project, and I personally feel it's a lot easier to remember. It also works with back carrying and it focuses on the breathing first, because if your baby's not breathing, then the rest of it's irrelevant. With the circle of safety, the first thing we check is that our baby has a clear airway. Secondly, we check that they are close enough to kiss. So we start here, we come up, close enough to kiss. Thirdly, we check that the baby is supported properly so that their back is curved. Brings us nicely down to the spread squat position. So the knees are higher than the bum and they are supported fully knee to knee. And then lastly, we come round to our back, which is our comfort. Okay, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to baby wear. So circle of safety, nice and simply. Airways, close enough to kiss. Back is supported, knees higher than bum. And the wearer is also comfortable. So it's a really nice circle of safety that starts with the breathing. Speaking of breathing, here's 5 different ways you can check whether or not your baby is breathing. Don't have to be able to do them all to know whether or not your baby is breathing. You need to be able to do at least one or as many as you feel like to be confident that your baby can breathe. Firstly, can you see that your baby's airways are clear? If not, clear them. 2, can you fit 2 fingers vertically between their chin to their chest? If you can, that means that they've got enough room for air to be going through their windpipe. This is also a really handy one for car seats. 3, can you hear your baby? If your baby is a loud sleeper or a snorer, then you might be able to hear them when they are asleep. And that way you know that they're breathing because you hear them. Now, if you're in a very loud, busy environment, you're not always going to be able to do that. So don't worry if you can't do all of these. Do as many as you need to feel happy that they are breathing. 4, can you pop your hand on their back and feel their breathing? And then 5, can you feel them breathing against your chest? You're not going to be able to do all 5 all the time. You do as many as you need to feel happy that your baby is breathing. And there you go. That is how we sort out positioning and safety and breathing checks for our babies when we are baby wearing them. The older your baby gets, the more responsibility they take for their own breathing and their own positioning. Baby wearing from birth means that positioning as they get older is really easy because they're used to being carried like this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it useful. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, everything like that, as it all really helps. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.